Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, inflation report is coming out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. Costing you wealth. That's what that means. But if you own wealth items, assets, the value increases because of inflation. So what if the ordinary citizen can't keep up paycheck to paycheck? Your wealth will still grow. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get
Come on, come on.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you got a feel of a little bit of everything in the opening salvo because it's going to cost you more money. All of you who living paycheck to paycheck, I know it's going to get worse. And it comes out tomorrow. They're predicting 3.4, 3.3, but you know what they're going to say. And then the feds are going to have to correct them when the feds have their little chat later this month. But nonetheless, it's over 3% year over year over year. 2024 to 2025, 2025 to 2026, it cost you more money to live. Did your paycheck go up 10% over the last 2 years? Let me know. Put it down in the comments. And if you're watching this live stream on replay, if you want to see the live stream chat, then what you do is hit the first comment, scroll left, and it should give you options to cut on the live chat so you can see the live chat room. And why do you want to see the live chat room? Because sometimes I put links in the chat room that can help you out on several different platforms. That's on the YouTube platform. Excuse me. So we're going to go a different route so everybody can see it. You have to put it in the chat room. That's the first things first, all right? So let me get findhelp.org out there. This is to help everybody. Put in your zip code. But again, you're going to have to live inside America to take advantage of the help. And so therefore, grants and the 211, the mental health, it's all here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the inflation report. Oh my, we have a person, Teto Lighton. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Very happy to see you. And he brings a tagline. Let's get to it. I love that tagline. SSN. Exactly. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the support. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. You can see what's on the screen right here. I'm going to put it up there right now. That's where you go get findhelp.org, 211.org. Put in your zip code. And that's why we got to start it off. Stop struggling now, ladies and gentlemen, comes in different forms. One of the ways is if you need help and your government can help you, you need to take advantage because the rich, the wealthy, you know what they're doing? They're going over to China. I'm just going to ask you something. If I'm the president of the United States and I bring 5 or 6 of the top executives from the biggest corporations in America, who do you think they're going to be looking out for while they're over there making backdoor deals? They're not helping your ass. Therefore, you're going to have to figure it out right now. You're going to have to help your ass. And other people, they get advantages that you, unfortunately, do not get to have. Oh my, I see they don't like the love. There's another channel blocking us now, just so you guys know. Something popped up. It's saying no love. Can you believe this? Hold on a second. Hold on. I finally got banned from another social media platform. Are we serious right now? I think it's true. Oh, yes, it is true. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. All right. Okay, well, welcome, Instagram, to the social media experiment that they think it's all free. I appreciate you blocking me now. Congratulations. All right, we have another live stream location that says, the land of the free. Can't be free, ladies and gentlemen, when they try to block people, when they're giving other people help. Just a simple find help, that's all. Plus, I have to talk smack when you have a nation that believes in freedom, but yet they give people an upper hand who are already wealthy versus the OCs, the American citizen. That's us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go, because this is in the inflation report. It's coming out tomorrow. Now, what do you think it's going to be? So we can talk about this on Wednesday too. Anybody want to predict what the inflation report's going to say? I think it's going to say 3.3. Just saying. Why do I say that? It's because it's fake. So what I believe is the stock market thinks it's going to be 3.4. So I think they're going to write it off as 3.3 to make it look like it's under what it was supposed to be. But that's still going to be higher than last year. 3 percentage points higher than last year, by the way. And that's a fake number. So what do you think the number will be? And we will know on Wednesday one way or another. 3.3, 3.4, or higher. Or lower for that matter. And it can't be lower, right? Because gas costs more, right? That means every item on the shelf costs more because transportation costs more to deliver it. But it's simple math. And for some reason, some people don't like math. But here, if you're going to create wealth, you need to know math. You can't live in the fantasy land. You can't sit there and go, I know somebody. I can start a company this week, and next week, I'm going to have a government contract. You can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why it's dangerous right now. Because if you don't get with the program, oh, by the way, the SSN Nation does have a program. Oh, it doesn't cost you anything. You need a 775 credit score by December 31st. You need a bank account outside the United States. And you need a business or real estate outside of the United States. All those are doable, especially when there's no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry for pre-construction properties anywhere in the world. So you can get assets outside of America easier than you can inside of America. Think about it. And that gives you freedom, ladies and gentlemen, because if your passport gets turned off, what are you going to do if you don't have another situation financially outside of the jurisdiction of the United States? So I'm getting you guys with the program because, as you know, or maybe you don't know, there is things happening in America that is not going to be benefiting the bottom 90% here shortly. So I predicted this starting 2 years and 7 months ago. Imagine how that worked. We're almost there. We only have 7 months to go till the timeline draws to a close. But don't worry, I gave you a runway. That is just the first guideline, long as you get there first. Then, if you just come up a little bit short, you'll still be in the mix, but you need to do all three. Now, let's get into the other factors as well. Inflation, tomorrow, what do you think is going to happen? Does it matter? What do you think? I'm looking right now to see, oh my, Dow Jones is calling for inflation to have gained 3.7%. Oh my goodness. But do you know what's going to happen with the stock market? Anybody? I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what people are going to predict. That's the second prediction. What's going to happen to the stock market tomorrow, Tuesday, May 12th? If the stock market is 3.6, 3.7, 3.8%, if that's the inflation number, what do you think is going to happen to the stock market? Do you think it's going to go down? You do understand the top 10% of who owns the stock market, right? The top 10% owns the stock market at 93% of the stock market they own. You really think the stock market is going to drop? What do you think is going to happen? Nothing. Because their money's not predicated on inflation. They make more money when the price of goods and services cost more. So why would they be upset? So why don't you ride the stock market this year? That would be a logical conclusion, wouldn't it? Nothing's going to happen other than it going up, regardless of the turmoil around the world and inside the United States. That has nothing to do with the stock market. It's there for the wealthy. And you can get a part of it, and that's what you have to do. That, hopefully, is my speech for the day on that. Now, let's see what else is going on. Let me see if there's anybody else in the house. Because once again, it's the inflation report today, ladies and gentlemen, costing you your wealth beyond belief. What can you do now? We've already said it. You need to invest in the stock market. And by the way, you might as well just stay with the big boy Vanguard Group. Let them manage it. VOO, VOOG, VTI, just to name a few. That's why you always keep one of these handy, ladies and gentlemen. Paper too. You never know what you need to write down. VOO, check them out. VOOG, check them out. VTI, check them out. Those are simple enough for you. And of course, we can never leave out the dividends of JEPQ, roughly around 12%, well, no, 11.5%. But we have this new one, courtesy of MDA 0214, and it was QQQI. And even I didn't even know about this. But then again, we all do not know everything. QQQI, they give dividends as short-term and long-term. They split it up. I believe it was 60-40. 60% of the dividend they give is long-term, meaning you pay less taxes. Short-term, within a year basically, is higher. And it's not 15%. 15% is long-term. 25%, 25% is short-term. It's considered ordinary income, just like your paycheck. So the fact that QQQI splits it is a good thing. Just saying. All right? Just saying, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me go over here and double check to make sure. Yeah, I can't even believe it. These guys really did that? They really did that. Wow. Okay. All right. No worries. Okay. It's cool. All right. Now, build wealth now. You can still do it. Nobody's stopping you just yet. Unless, well, how should I say this? You're a certain color, they're going to try and stop you. Just saying. That's the American way. And they're lining it up for you. So you're going to have to be prepared. But build your wealth now. So then you have options. I know people are living paycheck to paycheck. 80% of you are out there watching this right now. 8 out of 10 people live paycheck to paycheck during the month. So with that said, it gets very hard to figure out what to do. when you have a little bit of money left over. So, this is why you need to consider smart credit, because that way it can tell you when to make payments on your credit. And that way you can reduce or get your points to go higher. That's what you need to figure out, right? It's that simple. Let me do it this way. I don't want to put a lot of things on here right now. All right, let's go. And by the way, in case you join us, make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube gods know that you're in the house. The Twitch gods know that you're in the house. The Facebook gods know that you're in the house. The podcast gods know you're in the house. That's all I can tell you right now. I'm getting a little bit excited because things are going according to the plan from 2 years and 7 months ago, or 2 years and 4 months ago, 5 months ago. How would you know the plan would come together? And by the way, I want to congratulate everybody who actually bought property outside the United States starting 2018, 2019, 2020, up until 2023. I want to congratulate you because your properties have increased in value. You have assets outside the United States, or going to have assets outside the United States because delivery has been slow in a few countries. So that is very, very cool. Just saying. That means you have appreciation for something that hasn't even been built yet and finished for some of you. Others are just now getting their deliveries. So I want to say congratulations, because now you have an asset that you can do something with, whether you want to rent it out or not. The appreciation value means you have options. That means you can just turn around and sell it for the appreciating price. So if you make an extra $50,000, $100,000 or whatever, or more, congratulations. Thank you for playing. Now, let's go. Post-retirement travel is in the house. He has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate because he's a member of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. That means he's giving additional financial support, not just sitting there watching. He says, I'm going to get a little bit of support. I love it. So I thank you so much, Post-Retirement Travel. And oh, by the way, he's about to go on another Mr. Worldwide 2 tour. He's going around. So make sure you guys go and check out his Instagram. Go and check out his YouTube channel. All right? Post-Retirement Travel. I'm giving a little bit of getting you a little motivated to throw around some more videos when you come back from these trips, or while you're on the trips. Start being a YouTuber. You're retired. I gotta play. All right. Welcome again. And he brings his tagline, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's exactly right. And you know what else? I'll say it before he says it. The stock market is on fuego. That's what he's gonna say. Have you backed up the truck lately last week? You should have. And do you really think the stock market is going to go down tomorrow? Even if it is 3.7, even if it is 3.3, what do you predict it's going to be tomorrow? I say they're going to actually report 3.3 and then claim, oh, see, everybody said it was going to be higher, but it's not higher. But in reality, it is higher. Some reason, what do they call it? Shadowstats.com. Man, they all of a sudden got removed because they were actually reporting the real inflations. Because in case you're new here, you may be at a disadvantage. You don't understand. The United States government has been faking the funk ever since 1980. They changed how they calculated consumer price index. So they changed it so they can make it seem lower than what it is. Fugazi, fake. Because if you really knew what it was, you wouldn't be thinking you should not get a raise. Because really, it's double digits, is all I'm going to tell you. And you can easily see, because you can go back to 1980 and see how much things cost. Then you can see how much it costs now. And then you'll be like, wait, that's more than like 24% over 20 years. That's more than 30% over 20 years. That's more than 40% over 20. How come it's 300%? I know. Exactly. Do yourself a favor. Just act like the government's lying to you and proceed accordingly because they are. Now, get to the building of wealth right now before it's too late. One way, stock market. Second way, real estate anywhere in the world. And third way, make sure you have something outside the United States where you have money, bank accounts, or something where you have money not in the jurisdiction of the United States, which is a broke country. Just remember that. All right? Because there are people watching this right now who have never had a bank, a broker account, a safe deposit box broken into and stolen by the United States government. But you could because others have. I'm one of them. So get with the program because if you don't know where you live, you're going to wake up one day and F around and find out. Now, let's get back to the building wealth situation because inflation report's coming out tomorrow. That means you need to invest. And those things you need to invest in are the things that the wealthy invest in. Assets. Liabilities is what they get you to buy. So, did you pay your Adobe this month? Did you pay your Microsoft this month? Did you pay Amazon this month? Did you pay Netflix this month? Did you pay your phone bill this month? Did you pay your gas and electric bill this month? Did you pay part of your property taxes and insurance bill this month? I just named the wealthy. They own all that stuff that you're paying towards. So that means you have a couple of more choices to go. Because you want to build wealth, you can do it the old fashioned, easy way get some real estate, rent it out. But unfortunately, the cost to hold real estate, and now you have to charge your renters because you don't know what insurance is going to cost next year. You don't know what your water, sewer, garbage, gas, electric bills are going to cost. So you're going to pawn that off on them. So even if you do say, I give you a deal for rent, they're going to say, well, you're saddling me with $300 or more per month on top of whatever. So it has to rise because next year your costs are going to rise. So now you have liabilities. So the big boys, they don't really rent individual places. But BlackRock and a few ETFs buy commercial properties. Funny thing, apartment buildings, they do buy those. And they do buy homes because a corporation is different than you. You have to think as a corporation. What do you think your Social Security number is? America is a corporation. They're a holding company. The government is the corporate body. You are the worker underneath. And you give your tax money to them. Do you understand this ecosystem? And there's one little problem. The them that you're giving your tax money to, they can run deficits. They're not like you. When you go paycheck to paycheck, you can't say, hey, can I get another $50,000 from taxpayers' money? You don't have that luxury. Oh no. So you have to do it the old-fashioned way. Earn it. So if you have to earn it, that means you have to get rid of your debt. So you're not paying these corporations money. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I have something for you. I've said this before. Hold on. Let me go pull this up because a lot of you are out here. I mentioned this before. Let me go pull this up because I don't really watch TV that much. I have to I can't remember the actual address because it's on my phone. And I don't really watch movies or TV, but I better give you guys something so you can check this out. Let me see if I wish I gave it out before. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see movies? New movies? Not have to pay 12, 15, 20 bucks to go to the movie theaters? I'm just saying. Because the rest of the world is different than America. But, you know what? Just look in the chat room. All right? Go check it out for yourself. I won't even say the place or the location. Just go check it out yourself. That can save you a hell of a lot of money. Movie night at the pad every night. One movie, though. Just one. Okay? Hope I could help. Stop struggling now, ladies and gentlemen. And that brings me to my point. Inflation rises. Inflation keeps going up, right? Unfortunately, some people are going to miss. Here we go. Yes, sir. I continue to buy every day doing DCA. He knows what time it is. If you think that inflation is going to slow down the stock market, you are sadly mistaken. And if you think that the stock market takes a dip and all of a sudden it's going to dip for like a week, you're sadly mistaken. That's why if it does dip, you need to back up a truck and use your duffel bag of cash and grab some. The stock market is designed to go up by the rich. Don't fool yourself. Just stay with the big boys that Trump is taking with him over to China to make backdoor deals, just like he took them over to Middle East, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Same thing. He's going to Russia, to China to do it, to give them special deals. You need to think about that Magnificent Seven crew. Musk is going. Tesla. SpaceX. Deals for them, not for you. Do you really think they care about your job? They're laying people off as we speak. Good luck, Americans. But I'm going to take advantage of their stocks, though. You're damn right. DIM pals, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, Eric. He smashed that like button. He gave it a one piece. I love it. Let's get this wealth. He's a stock market trader, by the way. I know that for first. Second, he's a smart person. I know that for second because that's what he's doing. Putting his eggs in a basket that will never go down traditionally, but it goes down. But that's when you're supposed to pick up the pieces, pick up some stocks. Then it will rise over time and it will appreciate depending on when you purchased it. You don't want to purchase at the high, right? You want to purchase after it's dropped. Let me illustrate. Let me give you guys how this works. The stock price is $100. You decided to buy it for $100. All of a sudden, there's bad news. So you bought 10 shares for $100, and that means you spent $1,000. Then it drops to 90. All of a sudden, some bad news. Your 1,000 is now worth 900. So you don't do anything, right? You don't do any dollar cost averaging. You just sit there on the sideline. So you sit there on the sideline. Oh, it's only down 100. Don't worry. But other people go, let me get another 10 shares for $900. Now I have 20 shares for $1,900. The average price, $8.85 or $90. What is it? $95. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me check something out. Did I do the math right? Did I mess up? Hold on a second. We bought 20. Oh, yeah. Okay. 20 shares. Let's go. 20 shares at 1900. Let's go. What is that? Okay. Now it's $95. Okay. I was 85. That threw me off. I was like, I know it's not 85. $95 per share, which is, we'll call it, I'll just be the big dog. Eric bought those. He's got $95 per share. You sat there saying, oh, well, it's all good. The price, though, comes back up. The next day, it comes back up to 97. The day after, it's back to 100. The day after, or week after, I'll do a week after, it goes to 110. Now, here's what happens. If either of us did nothing after I did the second buy, now all of a sudden we have 20 shares at 110. All right? And you have 10 shares at 110. So you have 1,010. And I should have 2,020. So you would say, Eric, it's only $10 more. Well, see, that's the thing. My dollar cost average, though, is $95, not 100. So now my percentage that I make, the difference between $95 to 110, that's the profit I have, which is going to be higher than yours. You get it? $50 more, by the way, on one side of the fence. And another, it might be like another 100. I got to do mathematics, but I don't really care about the mathematics. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. But you know what? Just for being giggles and grins, let me do the numbers so everybody here listening on the podcast, because they don't have a calculator either, let me putting up a calculator. So now we'll know the difference between 20 shares and, where's my calculator at? All right, here we go. Person A, 10 shares at 100. It goes up to 110. They have $1,100. The second person, who has 20 shares times 110, now has $2,200. What's that? What's today? Okay. Oh, I blew it again. No, I didn't blow it. All right, I got a meeting tonight, so I got to make sure I'm up on that. Okay, so the difference, 220 minus 1,100. What are we doing here? It's only 1,100. But that's because I bought 20 shares. You only have 10. So it's not really a difference of that amount. All right. So we do have a small difference, because my dollar cost average is now $95 times 110. Come on. I'll do it a different way. 95 times 110. 95 times 10. All right. And your 100 times 10 is 1,000. Now we're at 110. Just so everybody understands. 95 times 110 times 10 is 1,100. But we bought some for $9.50. So that's $15 per share. So that is 10 times 15 is 150. Just saying, we have 150 more than you. And that's how it should be, even though my math is off on the fly. But nonetheless, this is it. He continues to dollar cost average, and DIM Pals is in the house, and the stock market is there. And oh, by the way, if you can see this screen, check it out. Surround sound and all. Okay? I'm not going to say the name because there's people listening, unfortunately. And it's a sad day what we got going on. Because now they are sitting out here like, what the hell's going on? That's right. And by the way, royalties, Think about those royalties worldwide. You got to get some. Go check them out. Just Google royalties. That's a way the wealthy make money right underneath your feet. No stock market needed because they get royalties. They own content. And I'm joining the party. I'm taking over a different way. I love what I'm about to do. Again, I've been teasing this a little bit. I can't talk too much about it because we don't have everything formed yet. But it's going to take me a minute because, again, there's so many gatekeepers that want to block the ordinary citizen from being able to do something. But I found a way where ordinary citizens can get in, and I'm about to exploit it. It's out there already, but the gatekeepers make sure it costs way too much money. And then the second tier gatekeepers, they go, oh, we're going to charge you stuff. You can only charge somebody when the person doesn't know what's going on, right? That's why you pay for services, such as when you pay your taxes, right? And you have a business or two and you don't really understand taxes and you can't do them yourself, you pay people to do it. But if you can do it yourself, why are you going to pay somebody if, well, it could be a few hundred or a few thousand, right? So why are you going to pay them if you know how to do it? If you know how to do it, then that means you done saved yourself a few thousand. So in the case of what I'm talking about, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. But I said, hold up. I actually could program, I could do stuff, but I wanted to expedite. I wanted to just pay you, fix it. But they said the magic word. Oh, it's going to cost you more to customize. I'm like, after I give you thousands of dollars? What am I giving you thousands of dollars for? If you're going to charge me to customize, that's the point of me paying you tens of thousands of dollars. So when you said this, I've had everybody say, going down the list, tens of thousands as it started at. The guys at tens of thousands said, when I said I want to do this, that, and the other, they said, oh, it's going to cost you more to customize. I'm like, what am I giving you tens of thousands for? That should be on the house. That's what I'm paying you for. Oh, well, yeah, but, oh no, that's no but. Like I said, that's a red flag for me. That means you don't actually control it. So that means I need to go look at the persons or find people where you're getting this from. If you need to customize it. So now I go around saying, let me go find these guys. I find it, no, not tens of thousands. I found the guys half of the tens of thousands. So then I said, oh, yes, we're getting a little closer. The gatekeepers are lining up, the second tier gatekeepers. These guys, oh man, we can make exactly this stuff. Look at our demo. Look at this. I'm like, okay, cool. It looks like we might do some business. But then, after we start getting down to the nitty gritty about the monies, all of a sudden, the magic words appeared. Oh, if you want to customize, you're going to have to give us more money. I said, oh, don't let me find out. Oh, you just said the magic wrong words. That means somebody else is going to be customizing. That means I can even get it for less. And sure enough, I go and keep continuing to claw and scratch. And finally, something pops up. And it tells me, according to AI, it says, oh, here's where you can go get this. The name of this thing. It's right over here. I said, oh no. Oh no. No. With a big smile on my face. Oh my, the framework is already here. It's already done. This is why these clowns are all going, oh, it's going to customize. You're damn right it's going to customize. but I don't have to pay thousands of dollars to do it. And that's why I don't have it together yet, because those guys keep saying the wrong words. And I'm now going, I just think I need to hit up some. Oh, I know. I think I'm just going to go to college. I think I'm going to go to college, to a computer room, and just have them create what I want and give them a piece of the proceeds. Boom, bang, done. See, ladies and gentlemen, the lesson is just because you want to do it fast and quick and somebody says they can do it, you need to know magic words. Soon as they say customize, and I said to the second tier guy, I said, I just want it to look like your demo. I thought that's what I was getting. They said, well, yeah, but you wanted to customize it. I said, you already have it on your demo. What are you talking about right now? As soon as they were doing that, I was like, oh, let me go find where the stuff really is. It took a little hunting. I mean, because you're not going to really know what to look for. But once I found the name, I was like, oh, no, no, no. They're going to let me in, but I'm going to get in cheaper than I was going to pay. I think by rights, I think I can only spend like $1,500. That's it to create an empire. Just the way I love it. When you're doing something, ladies and gentlemen, to create wealth, you don't really want to spend that much money. If your entry point can be lower, that means your break-even point is lower. A lot of people nowadays rush in. They just go, oh, I like it, I see it, I'm going to invest in it, without thinking that there could be a different investment. Opportunity cost is lost. So the money that I save can now be turned into promotion, can now be turned into something else. I mean, even if it costs me 2 or 3 G's, I don't really care, but I don't even think it's going to cost me that, because I have colleges around everywhere where I'm pretty sure I can go talk to a professor and get them dudes to be like, make this one of their things, and I'm going to give them a percentage of proceeds. Let's go. I don't see why that's a problem. In fact, that's what college used to be. What do you think MIT is? What do you think Stanford is? What do you think Harvard is? Yale, Brown, Princeton. You know why people go to those schools and why they're successful? Because they are around people, trust fund kids, business owners' kids, Fortune 500 owners' kids. They're all there. The place you go does matter. So I'm going to hit up. And before I came on the live stream, I can't do what I wanted to do, but I was just checking, because you know what we do here. We try to help the small guy. That's what we try to do. And again, D.I.M. Powell said, smash that like button. I just had to bring it up again. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because SSN Lifestyle will be coming back out 3 weeks. It's because I'm working on this other big program right now. I'm working on something that's huge. It's going to change industries. I know a lot of people say this is braggadocious, but just like I was going to change the industry in the DR, well, those guys mess up, they block, they do whatever, fine. And I couldn't get funding, quite frankly. They couldn't have stopped me if I already got the funding that my friends used to fund. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, we can't, yeah. I'm like, all right, fine. I get it. I haven't been around for 10 years or so. I get it. Don't worry. I will have something else, but I won't need you next time. It'll be like old times. You're going to be calling me up, coming to the pad, asking for money. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later. But I have a way, 2 ways. And I'm excited. I keep saying this every live stream, but I can't really say it. I'm giving you guys clues, but I can't really say what it is. So I'm going to be talking to another gatekeeper today, because this person, I'm checking about 10 to 15 people. If this person says a price that he said and it's actually legitimate, oh my. He was talking crazy, but we have an appointment. I got a 9 p.m. Pacific time appointment. So I can't miss this one. I missed the other one because I was doing some late night talking. But assets, I'm collecting assets right now. That's the goal of this next adventure. My third life. Is this my one, two, three, fourth lifetime, ladies and gentlemen? Here's the thing. If you don't understand what I mean by lifetimes, when you grow up from 0 to the time you're supposed to finish high school, let's call it 17, 18, right? That's traditionally the time you finish. That's your first lifetime because you only know what you know between that time. And depending on who your parents are, then you're only taught so much. You don't know what's happening in the rest of the world unless you were fortunate enough to move around the world when you were younger, like myself. You don't know how other people are living. All you hear is stories. But when you go there and then people are trying to tell you the story, then you're going, no, you haven't been there, have you? No, I heard from my uncle. Yeah, okay. Sorry. You know the real deal. So you cannot be told otherwise. Even though you can read history books, you can look at stuff and you're like, oh no, I was there. This is definitely not what's going on. Then you have a different point of view. Then you're like, hold on. I see a problem. And therefore, you don't have the constraints because you didn't grow up with a box and believing people who were lying to you. All of a sudden, you realize there are people that are running a government that lie to you. They put stuff in books that's a lie. People are on TV telling lies. Now you're like, oh my, this is not what I signed up for, but I'm here. And now that I know that these guys gaslight and lie, and I know they're going to lie in my face as well, that means you have to be buying assets, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what they're doing. While you're sitting around putting your money in a 401k, that's a nice little asset nutshell. But that little nutshell of IRAs or 401ks that you have, they're making money off of that. 1% a year, maybe? 20% of your money siphoned off? Just saying. What if you had your own 401k? Oh, yes, you can do that. You can just go to Fidelity. I like Fidelity because they took over TD Ameritrade, but just go to Fidelity, all right? They're cool. Get your solo 401k. Better yet, start a company. I've said this several times. Start a company and make sure your company has a 401k. You work for your company. So the company gets to put in 401k money. It's your company. Then you, as an employee, put money in your 401k. And then you put a portion in the company 401k because it matches. 3%, 4% for IRS purposes. Don't do something crazy and say, I'm going to match for 20%. No, that ain't going to work. That's unreasonable, so that can't happen. Just go 3, 4%. Who cares? You can only put in so much anyhow. If you can match 3% from what you're putting in and what you're gaining, by all means, do it. You write the rules to the match. Tax write-off? Just saying for the corporation. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. How do you think the wealthy get wealthy so fast? That's one way. The next way is what derivatives do. Stocks, you want to sell stocks? Create a corporation. Delaware Corporation is preferred. Just call it right out. So now you sell stocks. Now you can have rounds of funding. Other people's money. Just like right now, there's somebody out there going, oh, let's buy Spirit Airlines. Who's going to pledge money to buy it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the SSN Nation. Do not be foolish out here. I don't really care if you want to join the pledge for the feel-good movement of our lifetime. But I'm sorry, I'm not hanging out with some dumbasses. Do you know how much money Spirit Airlines is in debt? $8.6 billion. Do you know that Spirit Airlines says that they have $9.1 billion worth of assets? Explain to me, if you have I think it's 8.6 billion owed, and you have 9.1 billion of assets, why do you need $500 million? And why are you in bankruptcy? And why would somebody think that they're going to be buying a Spirit Airlines that's in debt $8.6 billion? You really think after you pay off their debt that somehow magically you're going to be able to run an airline with no money? Please stop the foolery out here. This is asinine. This is stupid. It's a complete waste of time. And the people that put in this pledge for they're up to $335 million by pledge, of course. Imagine if people actually put that into the stock market for the next year. 25% increase on the money. You give that money or try to buy an airline, you're going to be just like Spirit Airlines in bankruptcy. The operational cost is not the 500 mil. That's just so they could operate. Never mind, they can't pay off the 8.6 billion. That's why they were in bankruptcy. And by the way, somebody better explain to somebody that the debt holders actually get to get the assets, right? So I don't really understand why somebody's out here doing this feel-good, nonsensical stuff, acting like they're going to get $8 billion, $9 billion when they're not. And secondly, if that was your intention, you might as well have just started with an airline straight from scratch. New York to San Francisco, New York to LA flights or something. New York to Miami. Started off that way. That would be a hell of a lot cheaper than trying to buy Spirit Airlines. Just saying. All right, let's go. Get ready tomorrow. Based on the latest news, I have a feeling we'll have a red day at the stock market. Be ready to load up. That is correct. If it goes 3.7%, I expect it to be red. But again, we never know. But then again, if you're already in the stock market, you're not going to really care. Like post-retirement travel, DIM pals, already in the stock market. They have ways to take advantage because they actually do something different too. Stock market trading is very difficult. But once you get your groove, once you learn what you're doing, all of a sudden, you may be able to have more winning days than losing days. And when days you expect to turn red do turn red, you will be able to make money on those days. But sometimes, going by charts and patterns and things, you just trade by that. You're not going to predetermine how the days, we can guess, but we'll be prepared. If it goes up, you can make money. If it goes down, you make money. But again, patience, understanding, studying, and you can't just break it out. You just can't start tomorrow if you've never done it before. You have to study. You have to learn, just like anything else. If you want to be good at something, you have to learn. You have to go in it. You have to try one way or another. You can't talk about it. So that I agree with. I think there's going to be some red days. Eric, here's another ETF beauty from iShares. I know he likes iShares. Top 20 U.S. stocks, TOPT, 1 year performance. Look at that. 34.5. Yeah. 1 year performance is going to be high for everybody. If you guys missed out, VOO is up like 25 to 30% as well. We've been talking about VOOG, same thing. They're up like 30, 36. Oh, they're along the same lines, actually. 34, 35, 36% on your money, ladies and gentlemen. Those are ETFs. Vanguard Group, I was talking about TOPT. I don't know about it. But if they're at 34.5, there you go. top 20 US stocks, what did we tell you? Who's going to be over in China? Some of the top 20 stock CEOs going to be in China, helping them secure business deals with China. I guess China's not our enemy, are they? Just so you can actually be gaslit to believe they are. But these guys are rushing over to do business with them while they ban other companies from doing business with them. Oh, this is rich. This is so rich. See how they do you, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to ban your company. They're going to make sure that they don't have to pay the tariffs. Oh no, Google. Oh no, Google. Go and see when NVIDIA went over there to China before, they got an exemption from the tariffs that Trump gave to China. Just like now, when Elon and the rest of them go over, they're going to have exemptions from the 10 or 12 or 20% tariffs, giving them an advantage. But my company, oh no, I got to order my product from China, the bottles. What happens? They cost 10% more, which now means I have to charge customers more. But oh no, the guys going with them tomorrow, they don't have to pay 10% more. They get a deal. See how it works, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what country you live in? All right. Thank you for that. Post-retirement travel, and everybody listening on the podcast as well. T as in Tom, O as in Oscar, P as in Paul, T as in Tom. 1 year performance, 34.54%, and lifetime, 19.53%. Another gem, I will say. Let me write this down as well. Let me write this down, ladies and gentlemen. I got to put this on the list. I like an average of 20%. You know that. I like an average of double digits. That's all I care about, because our inflation is double digits. So at least you get to break even or possibly break out even more, especially like this, 34, 35%. That's a win-win, ladies and gentlemen. And any movement after 1 year, that is considered long terms. So you can start locking some things in tax-wise. Okay, do you invest in the Berkshire? No, I don't. I've been selling my S&P ETFs and putting the money into Berkshire lately. Great. Berkshire Hathaway, you know, Mr. Berkshire himself retired, Warren Buffett. So he has someone else in charge, but they have the same philosophy. Do you guys know that Berkshire Hathaway started out? Well, okay, first of all, Warren Buffett's dad was a senator. I know. You think he's just an ordinary kid from Omaha. That's what he portrays. But actually, let's get real. His family's in government, and he was a little kid. And yes, he might have been doing these things, but he was exceptional because he was doing it when he didn't even graduate yet. He was tracking the stock market. So that made him exceptional. What kid is tracking the stock market when they're 16, 15 years old? A trust fund kid, probably. Just saying. All right. Now, he turns out very good. He's 90 years old. And the man just retired, right? Turned it over to somebody else. Berkshire Hathaway has a way of investing. Companies that actually make something, they have this code of that's why they're successful. And I can't blame MDA0214 for investing in Berkshire Hathaway at any time. Their stock price is up there, but that doesn't mean anything. You can buy partial shares now. All right? And they have, what do they have? 3 different Berkshire funds? But either way, they're all fine. You're selling your S&P ETFs. That's very interesting, MDA, because why would you do that now? I don't give us let people know who are investors. Why would you do that now? Because you know there's going to be more upside for the S&P, right? Or do you think the S&P is going to start going down for some strange reason? I don't see how. Some of the S&P top companies are going to be in China. They're going to be over there making deals, right? Let's go see something. It's at 7,400 right now. Why? And it just went up over into the 7,000s recently. So, okay, I'm going to go year to date right now because I don't see how this stops. Year to date is 8%, and we're only in May. That's a pretty nice ride. And at the end of March 30th, if you would have been buying in that time frame, it would have dipped below January's price. It would have been 6,400. And this is what we talk about dollar cost average. Because if you would have bought down, re-entered, and bought at this pricing, lowered your dollar cost average and going from 63.50, let's say, up until now, that's the difference of instead of 8% year to date, you would be at 16.85 from that standpoint. So you would be over 10% if you did dollar cost averaging. And it's going to keep rising. I don't understand how it's going to come down. 52-week low, 5,700. This thing has went up 1,700 points. I don't think it's coming down anytime soon. I think it's going to keep rising. But he has his own investment strategy because he's complex. He doesn't have the one investment thing. He's changing his markets, changing. He has different things. He's shared with us some different things. Like he puts his money in treasuries or an account like a treasury and things he doesn't use, which actually still earns money and it's still liquid, which is very smart. Once he exits, he still gets, even if it is 4%. That's still cool. Because then that money's liquid so he can deploy it like what he's saying right now. He's taken out of his S&P. He's moving into Berkshire Hathaway, which is, isn't that BRKH or something like that? Let me see. Yeah, something came up that was very funny. Yeah, BRKW. Something, is that the one? Are you actually talking about BRKW? That's an ETF itself. That's the Round Hill Weekly. No, he's not talking about that one. He's talking about the actual stock itself. I don't want the ETF. Hold on. It's BR. What is it? I thought it was BRKH. Let's see. What is it? Somebody's going to tell me. Can you believe this? This didn't even come up. I figured it would. And they have several different ones too. More stocks. BRKB is one of them, Class B. Let's see what they did in year to date. Negative 3.48%. That is interesting. Oh, wait, that's a different. Okay, that's Class B. Where's the other one? Where's the Class A? Let me go see. Is there really a difference? There can't be that much of a difference, is there? Whoa. Yeah, there's a difference. $717,000 per share. That's crazy. Market cap, $1 trillion. BR, BRK.A for their A shares. No splits, not splits Class A shares to attract long-term high-quality investors. Class A shares can be converted into Class B shares at a 1 to 1.1 to 1,500 ratio. But Class B cannot be converted into A. Oh, that's interesting. Class A holds significantly higher voting power compared to Class B. And people say Warren Buffett didn't know what he was doing. The Oracle of Omaha. Oh my goodness. Their investment strategies worked. If you'd have put 1,000 into Berkshire Hathaway 20 years ago, it'd be 8,300. I'm not mad at that. 8x in 20 years. At least you stay with inflation potentially. Just saying. If you had $1,000, $1,000 20 years ago, so this will give you an idea, is worth what today? That $1,000 is worth 1,600 to 1,800. So that easily beats everything regarding inflation wise and what your money's worth The buying power, the purchasing power is 1,600 to 1,800. That's how much more you have to pay now. That's why one of the interesting things are those apartments. When the 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom apartments used to be 900, 1,000, and now they're 1,600 to 1,800 to 2,000. This is the reason why. And Buffett made $8,300 on the money, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a win-win, proving once again you should be in the stock market. All right? It's that simple. You should be in the stock market. Here we go. They're good at managing money, but they've been killing the S&P. NASDAQ perform better, but they're way more volatile in down years. You're right about that. In down years, the stock market could drop 15, 16%. And that's what I was trying to get at earlier, is if you drop 16%, now and you don't buy when it drops, now when it goes back up, you're still at that level above 16%. If you'd have bought below 16%, as soon as it got back to the same level that you previously purchased at, the stocks you bought down here would have increased more than 16%. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. All right? Just remember that. Just remember, $100 stock drops to 90. You buy at 90. When the stock goes back to 100, you made 10% on the stocks you have bought at 90. Then when it goes to 105, on the other one, you've made around 17%. And the first one you bought at 100 makes 5%. You understand there is levels, and that's what you have to consider when you are making these moves in the stock market. And MDA 0214 sounds like he's doing a mid-year revamp. And I can't be mad at him because he's locking in profits and going to something that may be a little less volatile and still kicks ass. So you can't be mad at that philosophy at all. It makes sense when you think about it. That's what investors do, money management. Keep your profits, ladies and gentlemen. Why wait when you already have profits? Why not lock those in? You don't have to be greedy because you never know when Black Monday or Black Friday comes where all of a sudden the stock market drops 20% or 10%. And all of a sudden all hell's breaking loose. You don't have to wait for that because when that happens, you want to make sure you're liquid and you can jump in and get it while you can. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you're supposed to invest. Inflation report tomorrow, which is going to be May 12th, 2026. What are you going to do today? And I love hearing these stories. MDA 0214, welcome again to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And by the way, just got terminated by Instagram. Clowns. I was wondering when they were going to do that. That's part of the Metacorp. All right, let's go. So this is why we had to have this discussion today and always, because you know the SSN Nation way, what to do. I'm not going to be on here too much longer, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to talk about anything, build wealth now is what you're going to have to do. I'm just going to tell you more clues. I'm going for rights for TV, movies. I'm going for those rights. I'm going for rights for music. I'm creating some rights that because I'm going to do something that's going to create the rights and I'm going to have the masters. So that means long term, that's where the wealth is. That's why Netflix, Amazon, all these companies, Tubi, Plex, all these apps and all these guys are going to make money for life, forever. Because those platforms allow you to own the content. Some of it you license, some of it you own. And when somebody else wants to use it, you get to charge them for life. You get money for life. I figured I'd move into the derivative markets, not just with real estate, but I'm going where the big boys go. I'm sitting there going, you know what have I been doing in my retirement? Nothing. Why? I always wanted to disrupt an industry. So I'm going to do 2 industries in one. It's a trifecta, actually, because I get 3 industries in one that the gatekeepers have been holding from the general population and controlling who gets in and who doesn't. Well, they're not going to be able to control this one because I have some ideas. Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. And when you control content and they can't shut it down, and then you get royalties that they can't shut down, they can only cry, weep, and call their senator to change the laws to try and shut me down. That's all they can do. They're going to do it, though. They're going to try and change the rules like they always do. These mediocre I'll just say it that way. I'm going to get out of here before I say too much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Get your acts together. Be prepared for tomorrow. If you know how to do stock market trading, you know how to do investing, you need to jump in one way or another. If it goes up, I don't blame you for not doing much. But if it goes down, you should be doing something. And oh, by the way, the reference duffel bag of cash, that is a complete reference for real life. You need a duffel bag of cash that you can access. If your money gets shut off, your credit cards don't work, if your bank account gets held up, because remember, right now you can go into banks and they're asking people more and more often now, what do you need the $10,000 for? And you're sitting there looking at them in a face like, not realizing you signed, when you open up an account there, you signed saying, this is no longer your money. Yes, it's in your terms that you just glossed over and signed. So when you get mad when they go, well, what do you want the money for? Oh, we don't have to give it to you. When you're going, what do you mean? It's my money. You can just save that, all right? You signed over when you opened your account that they are now the custodians of your money, just like your crypto. When you put it in a central exchange platform, that is their crypto. They can hold it up. You can't do a thing about it. All right? So get with the program out here. These guys are going to be hijacking people in about 1.5 to 2 years. Just saying. So get your acts together, ladies and gentlemen. It's Asset. You're done Asset Siege. That's going to be Wednesday's video. Asset Siege. Come on, let's do it. Assets pay you. Liabilities don't pay you. So when you're out here running around going, I want to own a house, that is not an asset. The only reason it's an asset is because Ronald Reagan turned it into an asset when they did the trickle-down theory and they changed the CPI and then they changed how you can get loans. All right? That changed everything. Housing prices went up so fast because they reduced the interest rates. So then the houses popped. Instead of 3%, 2% on average for the last 40 years, all of a sudden you bought a home for 100 grand, it's worth 150. Oh my. Soon as the 4 years or 3 years go by, then all of a sudden you bought a house for that 140, all of a sudden now it's worth 190. It's like, what the holy smokes, you own the house for 10 years and you got 10% price increase? And then, of course, the markets went short circuit, saving and loans out of business. Another banking institution you no longer know about. They're gone. They weren't credit unions. Savings and loans industry was another bank. And they went. So then we reboot. But you know what doesn't reboot? That price of the homes they dropped. People did just what they always do, gobble, gobble, gobble at the lower price, and then waited. And then 5 years later, poof, 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 poof. And then 10 years after that, 2004, 5, and 6, off the charts. Houses that were previously 100,000 just 10 to 15 years ago is worth 400,000. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, the buying is on. Home prices going up every month. Do you understand? That was not real. It was only real because people were buying. But that is not how the market's supposed to move because people don't make that much money of an increase for their salary over a 10-year time frame. 100,000 to 400,000 in 10 years. And now here we are today. That $400,000 house in some places is $1 million. You see how this works? You can't catch up and it's a liability. But if you owned it and got that appreciation and turn around and borrowed against it, just like the big boys borrowing against their assets, now it turns into an asset because you can get a HELOC and go invest it, which is what you should do. You go get yourself a 3 or 4-plex or an apartment building the SS Nation way. So then you have income for life. Do you understand? That's why I always tell the kids who are 19, 20, 21, the first thing you do is a duplex or better. Do not buy a single family home. Do not buy a condo. You buy a duplex, 3-plex, 4-plex, get yourself an FHA. 4% down. Call it a day. Sit there humbly at 22, 23, and you have assets already in hand. You learn very early. When the bank calls you up 4 or 5 years later, hey, do you think you need to refinance your property? We got lower interest rates now. And that's when you find out. They said, well, based on the criteria, that little $400,000 fourplex you bought, it's now worth like $750,000. We're going to refinance it at a lower rate, so your payments are going to go down. And by the way, do you want to take anything out? In fact, you can take money out, keep the same amount of payments. And you're like, what? Did you just say I can take like $100,000, $120,000 out and keep the same amount and the payments are going to be the same? Whoa, really? Done. And then go get yourself some more assets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, just saying. It works no matter what age you are. Except now it's a lot harder because things cost a lot more. The price of it going up may have a ceiling now because you have reduced the buying pool because inflation is higher than the 2, 3, 4%. Over the last 4 years, they've been telling you 8.2 to 4.7 to 2.9 to 2 or 2.7, then 2.7, 2.9, 3.1, and now it could be 3.7, which is crazy, which means it's really 13% or something, or 14, somewhere in there. So just keep that in mind, all right? Let's go. I'm not going to lie. It was Buffett's speech about gold during the meeting. He said he would rather own good companies over gold. They own Geico, Dairy Queen, Duracell. Yeah, McLean Company, PCC. Yeah, you're exactly right. Like I was saying, Warren Buffett, he invests like you should. He gets the companies that actually produce something, make something, have customers. That's what he believes in. And you can't be mad at that because those companies that have their own manufacturing facilities, that have their own distribution, and has their own network of sales, it's already set in stone. Nobody can, even if you lose, like Dairy Queen, even if you lose your customer base, they're still making money because they're not going to go out of business. So that's why he chose these companies, for instance. Plus, there's a lot more. He's down in, you know what cracks me up? People don't study. We had this conversation about 3 years ago or 2 years ago when we were talking about EVs. And Buffett comes out and says, oh, I don't really like EVs. I'm not going to invest in the EV company. That's what he says. In the meantime, his ass goes down to South America and messes with an EV company. But in America, he's going, I ain't going to mess with EVs. He's a funny guy. But the point is, this is what all the big dogs do. They throw you off the scent because they don't want you investing cheap like they do. They want you to buy their stuff at a higher price. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, like what's going to happen in China, they're going to make deals with Chinese companies, unbeknownst to you, where they can get cheaper products made, better products made than an American company. Remember America First and all that? That certain parts of the United States contingency was all America, America First, America First. Now they're just like, yeah, yeah. No, it's for a good cause. We didn't really mean it. Funny. Eric, West Palm Beach real estate is exploding. Of course it is. Saw a nice 2-bedroom condo today for around 400K. Very good price for the area. However, the HOA is, I knew you're going to say 1,150 per month, over 13K a year. Hey, post-retirement travel. You know what's even funnier? It's 13K a year just for HOAs, right? But guess what? Next year it's even going to be more. So now somebody's going to buy a 400K condo. They're going to pay what? 6%, 2,400. They're going to pay 35 to 4th G's a month. I mean, a year. Yeah, a month. They're going to pay roughly almost 50K a year. And next year is going to, let's just say they paid 50K this year. Next year, they're going to be paying 52 or 53K. And if their certification comes up, because they have a 25-year certification, I believe now, and that if the condo's 20 years old, in 4 to 5 years, you're going to owe there's going to be $1 million or something, and they're going to send you a special assessment bill of like 200 G's or 120 G's. Oh, oh my. By the way, in all seriousness, everybody out here, there's been a report by the scientists. The Gulf of Mexico, for the United States is gonna get, it's in flood zones. Water is rising. Miami, water is rising. So again, if you want to be a denial of science, because the scientists sat around for 30 years and went to school and had debt of over 100K and eking out a living, and that's what they did, and now they're going to lie to people, and you're along that camp. Good luck, because if you live in certain areas, they just put out a map just yesterday. They're expecting the next 10 years, for instance, a city, New Orleans, is going to be underwater. And by the way, El Nino hurricane is expected to come this year. They're expecting a powerful hurricane like what hit the Northeast, somehow in the Northeast of America, that took out New York, New Jersey, all that. They're expecting that to come through the Gulf sometime soon, whether it's this year or next, but they're talking about possibly this year. There's going to be a super hurricane. And man, I don't know where that's going to fall, but 180. I mean, if it gets to 180, 190, man, it's going to be lights out. And if they're talking about a 200-mile radius, it's lights out. That's what they're talking. That's what they illustrated. I'm like, oh no, that would be bad. That would be very bad. All right, so I'm using them more for equity growth in my dividend portfolio and downside protection. Listen to what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, that downside protection. Like I said, you can't give back your assets. He's doing his protection early, and I'm not mad at him. And I actually I applaud this, because he sat there and looked at his stuff and said, I want to lock in this profit. Sure, I can make more profit, but if this thing goes sideways and there's a real drop of 10 to 15%, do I want to sit there, or will I just take this profit that I've got over the last few years? I applaud this greatly. Great job, MDA0214. I'm not mad at none of this activity right now, because my 3-year plan, which started 2 years and 5 months ago, when I told everybody what was going to happen, it's funny that you're doing this, because it's going according to the game plan. And that's why I applaud this altogether. It coincides with exactly what people should be considering right now if you're an investor. You should be taking all that run up you've been enjoying for the last 2, 3 years, and you should be parking some of that and parking in a safe zone where you still make it increase, even if it is small. Even if you miss another 10% increase, so what? That's not worth losing the 20 or 30 or 40% increase or more that you got. Why would you let it go up 40, 50% and then all of a sudden in one day it could drop 10% or 15 and sit there? You're going to be mad. Imagine you having $100,000. This I'm just going to tell you guys what happened to my friends before. We talked about this 4 or 5 years back. They went out, they had a $1.3 million. All right, that was their 401k. Due to the pandemic, I told them that I said, "Hey, you need to just park it." They did not heed. The pandemic went down. It went down to 700 G's. They were like freaked out. The only thing that saved them was, okay, guys, after you effed off 500, 600 G's, did nothing. That's the way I looked at it, even though you still had it. The point, though, is after you effed it off, calm down, the stock market's going to come back and it's even going to go higher. But you're going to have to wait a few years. And here they are now. 1.3 is now 1.9. But the point is they were freaking out when it dropped because they weren't stock market investors. They were just putting money in their 401k. But here's the difference. If they would have parked it at 1.3, they would have been in 2 million territories. It would have damn near doubled. Because it did double. It would have been 2.6 right now. I'm just saying. So I love this right here. I love it. I love it. Look at their investments in Japan. Exactly. Buffett is the goat at reading balance sheets. Yes, he is. And finding great companies. Most hedge funds invest in Berkshire worldwide. That's just true. Because he does the hard. His company is based on actual companies and corporations. They have it's great what they do. That's why their share price is off the charts. That's why they have a Omaha meeting every year. The investors are like a club, quite frankly, because it's inclusive. You can dollar cost your way in. You can buy partial shares now. 10% increase is still 10% increase. It doesn't matter if you own a partial share or a full share. It's just that a full share, obviously 10% means $70,000 increase. But the point is 10% to whoever is still 10%. So yeah, I don't have nothing at all to say that's derogatory in any way for Warren Buffett and his partner, Charlie Munger, by the way. The second guy, he's the same as the first guy. Just saying. Okay? Those two actually did it. Buffett is the one has the Berkshire Hathaway. He's the one that's mostly known. Munger sat on the sidelines until the last 5 to 10 years. Nobody even talked about Munger. Okay? So I have nothing to say. These guys invested the right way. They do old school Americana investing, meaning they invest in corporations based on their stocks, based on their activity, based on their production and manufacturing and their customer base. They do like the old-fashioned way. Now we don't do that. People are doing things on the come. Oh, AI is going to come out. So now people are investing in AI companies on the come because that's where it's going. That's different than what Warren Buffett and those guys do. So that's why their stock is why hedge funds and education funds, police and fire funds, pension funds I'm referring to, would put their money in Berkshire Hathaway around the world. All right, just so you understand. So that's what MDA 0214 is referring to. Great job, man. Exactly. You're exactly right. I have nothing bad to say about Berkshire Hathaway at all. I just wish I would have had money in Berkshire Hathaway in 1985 or something. Talk about blowing it. I mean, seriously. Seriously. Man. So I'm going to get out of here because I have a meeting tonight. This is going to be the empire, the third empire. I'm three empires in one. It's going to be sick. I can't even. I'm so excited that I can actually do this, and it's going to happen. I almost had a roadblock that I thought was a roadblock, but it ended up being not a roadblock thanks to AI. Just so you know, AI is very powerful. Everybody, just ask it questions. That's all I advise. You don't have to think about it. I have the wife out here telling her to just ask it whatever you want to do. Just ask it, and then she acts like I can't do it. I'm like, what do you mean? You're asking me a question. It's the same thing you do with AI. You don't need to know anything. Just ask it. It'll come back with something. And then it'll prompt you to say, well, do you want me to go about this? Something you never even thought about. So go do it, ladies and gentlemen. Get with the program. Ask AI is an asset. There's people out here making their alter ego, so to speak, their avatar look just like them and create videos and shorts and movies and do all kind of stuff to make money with. That's where this goes. That's exactly where this goes. And that's why I want in. I want in. I want to be able to take what they're doing, put it in a catalog, and now I sell it as my catalog for the agreement we made and give them a percentage. Asset control. That's what we want to do, ladies and gentlemen. Hint, hint. Okay? Come along for the ride. You're going to have a ride. New SSN Lifestyle, let's call it. Website. New SSN Nation, Stop Struggling Now. Website. 3 weeks. Should be liftoff. And you also can be in the Ring of Fire for the SSN Lifestyle membership group. You're going to have to be a member to be in the Ring of Fire. Sorry. Because I can't do it the other way. You have to be a membership of the club, private club. Otherwise, it turns into an SEC problem. Just saying. All right? We don't want SEC problems. Okay, just saying. Let's go. I want you guys to win. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. But we're going to tear down the house if I have my way. And you guys are going to be here for it because I'm coming out of retirement with a bang. I haven't got my footing yet because I don't have that mean streak that I used to have where I was like, I'm just going to chop people down. Boom, boom. But don't worry. I'm getting back in the groove. All right? I'm getting back in the groove because these guys are making me get back in the groove, trying to charge me for stuff that I know shouldn't cost that much. And then I have to go hunting to prove them wrong and I'm right. And right now, just had some guys hit me up today going, we haven't heard from you. I'm like, wait till this live stream's over because after I tell them, because I don't need you no more. That's why you haven't heard from me, because when you were out there too busy trying to jack me, trying to make me pay more, I figured I might as well go find out who really makes this stuff. And I found them. So I no longer need you. And I'm going to pay less now to do the same damn thing that I was going to do with your ass. So that's how we do it. I'm getting my mean streak back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. It's coming. And you're going to enjoy every badass last minute of this one. Because when you take the assets and put assets under your control, ooh-wee, you start getting the establishment upset. And now they have to buy it from me. And that means they got to pay me dollars and they can't lowball me either. Ooh-wee. It's going to be sweet. All right, let's go. I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. There'll be more improvements because if this chat at 9 p.m. goes as I expect it to go, oh my, we could be operations lift off 3 weeks will be on time one way or another. But this would go greatly. And if it doesn't go good, that means I have to go to my option number 2, which I'm in Las Vegas right now. I'm near California. You guys do understand I'm near technical hubs. I will show up, just like I went to the NAB show and showed up, and those guys gave me an idea. I was just minding my own business. But then they opened their mouths, and I was like, wait, what? What? It's that cheap? I want in. Now, I'm in technical territories. Do you understand? In technical territories, I can find people to do things in person. So therefore, even though I'm in Vegas, they have so many technical people here. I will be seeing a few of them in a week, 2 weeks. And don't let us make some deals because that's Adobe. Oops. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the ones you know, Adobe. That's right, the big boys. I'm going to have a meeting with them in a couple of weeks. Yes. Let's just call it. No, I better not call nothing. I'm just going to let you know Adobe, they have several divisions, so I don't want to give out any names so somebody can do sabotage. But nonetheless, Adobe. Keep that in mind. The big boys. I'm going to talk to you guys later. I'm coming out of retirement, and so should you. And I'm going to let you guys ride along for the ride and even participate. Once I figure out what I'm doing, then you can participate in several different ways. So, first things first, make sure you do the tenants. The SSN Nation tenants that we started 2 years and 5 months ago. Real estate or business outside the United States. Bank account outside the United States. And what's the third thing? Credit score. 775 credit score and up. So you can take advantage of the 0% interest rate for 36 months. It's not out yet. Not yet. I expect in 3 to 4 months now. I expect to see it. There's already 24 months. But I know they're going to need people to not default. So they're going to give the people with better credit a special deal. You should be ready. And if it doesn't happen, so what? You take the 0% for 24 months in the meantime. You'll already be set up. Paying 99.5% of your money goes in directly to the principal. You can't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. With all that said, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but it's only going to get harder. 3.7%. If it comes up 3.7, ladies and gentlemen, it's really 13.7. Just so you understand. This is no joke right now. And there's a war going on in 2 different regions that affect gas prices, and gas prices affect gas prices here, and gas prices affect transportation costs, which means your food cost rises. That also means your energy bills rise. That also means your insurance rises. That also means your housing cost rises. Do you not understand the domino effect that is happening right now? And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Well, voting comes up November. But there just so happens to be people doing gerrymandering to give themselves an unfair advantage illegally that the Supreme Court just allowed. So Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, and Texas wants to redistrict now. Tennessee redistrict. It's kind of funny. It's the same guys that said their policies work. Why are they gerrymandering? If their policies work, wouldn't people vote for them? Weird. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And with all that said, make sure you stay safe out here because a lot of people are going through it. Financial difficulties. Living paycheck to paycheck, and it's about to continue to rise. So if you're already living paycheck to paycheck in 2024 and prices go up 10, 13% or 3.5, then 3.5% more of your money is gone. So now it's going to cost you 3.5% more for the same thing. And you already were living paycheck to paycheck last year. This is not going to end well. Food assistance, Medicare, Medicaid, not around for a lot of people. Sorry, but findhelp.org is still around if you need help out there. Need help with someone with mental issues, 211.org or 211 on your phone. All right? Just be safe out here, ladies and gentlemen. You got to make investments. Inflation is a thing. It's not really the low number, but you can build wealth now. This is one of the things that the wealthy can't control. They lose too, because now it costs them more money to make their stuff happen as well. So that means there's going to be cracks in the system. And those cracks is why you need to be ready. Stay ready, be ready, you're ready. And unlike me, I have to learn about AI. I have to learn about stock market trading. I have to learn things that if I was ready, I would have been able to make things work a lot faster. But because I sat on the sidelines watching the AI parade go by and not really pay attention to it other than ask ChatGPT questions, now I'm getting into other stuff. These guys are giving me programs. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me right now? I could have been doing this, but I was in retirement mode. Now that I'm not in retirement mode, I'm coming out with a vengeance. And I'm proud of it. So stay here for the long run. It's going to be an awesome trip. And oh, by the way, you know, this time, not this time next year, but in about 9 months, there's going to be Hint Grammy Awards. There's going to be Oscar Awards. There's going to be all kind of stuff. So some of the essence and lifestyle stuff you've seen before, that's what's going to be happening again. And again, if you're new here, I will offer where if you come, you will be joining me at some of the events, some of the parties. That's right. You don't have to pay no money to me, no money to them, no fugazi BS. If I invite you to come, you come in with me. You don't pay anything extra. It's free on the house. I don't have to charge you. If I get in free, you get in free. It's simple. Okay? That's simple. You can have some fun and meet some cool people too. And I'm not referring to myself. All right? So, with all that said, be safe. And no matter what you do, don't let some mediocre, sorry-ass dudes gaslight you into believing you're not the best. You're not good. You don't know nothing. You're a low IQ. Listen, just because somebody says something does not mean it's true about you. Just because somebody rejects you does not mean it had to do with you. Just because somebody says that they rejected you and you don't know enough, that you're not smart, that you didn't write down the right thing, again, it may not have anything to do with you. They're just looking for something else. So keep knocking on doors, keep doing you, keep improving every day, mind, body, and soul, and make sure you're taking care of your heart and health. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.